From the dirty back alleys of the internet wrestling community, from the comment section straight to your ear, this is Still Real Radio!
Alright guys, hello and welcome to Still Real Radio. Just in case you don't know, this is the show where you don't have to agree with the things that we say. We probably won't agree with the things that you say, but we can all agree that it is still real to us.
Woo!
Of course, as always, it has been a big week in the world of professional wrestling. Braun Strowman is out longer than expected, but possibly not. We're going to get into all that. We got Backlash coming up on Sunday. We're going to talk about the predictions, but luckily enough, we were joined by a very special guest this week, Gregory Shane Helms. A lot of you guys out there know him as the Hurricane. And we're going to get into our interview with him real quick. Let's give it a listen. So, guys, Still Real Radio here. We got Gregory Shane Helms. First of all, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. I'm getting ready to go to the gym, trying to get my dad bod back in the spandex form. So, that's not easy once you get past 35, it starts to get a lot more difficult. But I'll be 43 in July, so it's even more difficult now. But it's going good.
Well, I'd say
no complaints.
I'd say you're doing pretty damn good for 43. On the note of diets and physiques, I have to know the question everybody's wondering, because you informed us all a few months ago you're a big Wendy's fan. When was the last time you had a JBC?
It's been a couple weeks. I had a cheat meal, and Wendy's. Sometimes my cheat meal turns into a cheat day, I should say. That's what happened there. It's been a couple weeks. But the junior bakers, man, I don't think they're that bad. I tell you what I had to do, and this was about a month ago. I was with my son in Raleigh. And Raleigh's about half an hour from here, and he wanted McDonald's. Little kids, they can kind of eat that garbage because their metabolism's so high, and they probably shouldn't eat it, but they can get away with it a lot better than adults can. And I hadn't eaten McDonald's in forever, not a burger anyway. And I was like, all right, you know what, it's been forever, it'll be okay. And I don't know what's in those things, but man, I felt like I needed to go to the hospital for about 2 hours.
Oh, geez, that's no good. Well, I guess you'll be crossing that off your list of places to eat, huh?
Yeah, well, I mean, the sausage McMuffin now. The breakfast is okay with me, but I'm gonna stay away from them burgers for a while. Well, for a while, I mean life.
I can't say I blame you, man. I can't say I blame you. So I have to ask you, because I saw a little, you cracked a joke on your Twitter page. Everybody's talking about Randy Orton's little rant there about independent wrestling and the dive comment. I saw you cracked a joke. You're going to invent the diving headlock and piss off everybody. I thought that was hilarious. But where do you kind of stand on this rant? It seems like everybody's got an opinion. What are your thoughts on what he had to say?
Man, I'm the bridge. I'm the bridge between the old school and the new. I'm constantly trying to get those two sides to cooperate with each other. I've been that young guy that was trying to bring some new stuff, and the older cats, hated it until they actually saw it. And I see too, but some of the stuff the older guys say is right, but just their delivery is so pissy, you don't even want to listen to them. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's the same way too for some of the younger guys. That whole, I'm young, I can do whatever I want mentality. Not respecting the people that paved the way. That can kind of rub people the wrong way too. So, I think any message, if it's delivered properly, it will be a little bit more receptive. I don't really think Randy was ranting. I don't think rant was the right word there. He was being funny. But if you know Randy and you understand his sense of humor and you can hear his voice in your head, which is, I didn't mean to, that wasn't a pun there. It just kind of came out like that. I could definitely hear what he's saying. He's a smart ass. And Randy doesn't have to do dives. He doesn't need to do them. So it's cool. Randy, he can actually make a headlock look better than most guys' dives can make their dives look, because he makes it look real. I see guys do dives and half the time nobody makes contact, and then they jump up like nothing hurt, when 9 times out of 10 it does hurt. You landed on the floor, or, a guy, you jump over the top rope and you hit a guy in his head with your belly hard enough to knock him down. That hurts somebody. It should hurt somebody. Or you just might as well hold up a sign going, hey, this is fake as fuck, and we don't care if you know. But it just depends on the talent, I told Randy, you need to do a dive now, just to throw everybody off.
The
if he goes and does a dive, like, people would lose it. And then throw the guy right back in the ring and put him in a headlock.
Oh, man, that'd be great. We were at SmackDown last night, and we were shouting dive at him all night. I mean, there were dive signs everywhere in the crowd when he came out. It was awesome.
It was pretty crazy, though, because, the crowd's still, the guy, like you were just saying, he can do his moveset, and it's still phenomenal. Like, when he hit the RKO, the place just erupted. How many times have you seen him hit the RKO, and people still go nuts for it? So, to your point, man,
yeah.
He just makes things look good. He doesn't have to do all this stuff,
Yeah, he's the crispest. I'm talking about crisp, clean, technically as sound as anybody there's ever been. No wasted movements whatsoever. Everything has a purpose, and he looks like he believes in what he's doing. So, he's a very talented performer. But you look at me, for example, as the Hurricane. I can't go out there and wrestle that style because people don't give a shit about it. Like, they wanted to see me be the Hurricane. They wanted to see some of the shenanigans. They wanted to see me try to choke slam somebody I should not be able to pick up. Because that was one of the questions I used to get when I started getting the good run as the Hurricane. It's like, why don't you wrestle like Sugar Shane anymore? Because as Sugar Shane, I was the greatest lightweight in the world. Some people would say, I'm not saying that I would say that, but the style was different. And it's like, why don't you wrestle like that? And I was like, I did it on house shows a lot, and nobody gave a fuck.
Right.
And then I would do the Hurra pose, and they would come unglued.
Hey, man, if it works, it works. And if it's not broken, don't fix it,
Yeah, and then I just looked around the roster, and I was like, all right, we got Kurt Angle, one of the greatest wrestlers that ever lived. We got Shawn Michaels. We got this guy. What we don't have is the Hurricane. I'm the only one that can do that, so that's why the Hurricane, that kind of style, which was separate from the Sugar Shane style, and definitely a lot different than how I wrestled as Gregory Helms. That's why that style kind of developed on its own, because I would listen to what the people reacted to, and that's what I would do.
You had a great fluid moveset, too, even as the Hurricane, other than, the choke slamming bits or whatever. Just some of your maneuvers, dude, they came off so crisp. And you had a lot of innovative stuff, too. How much time did you spend, trying to come up with different moves? Because, a lot of your transition moves I really liked. Did you take a lot of time, just trying to come up with something innovative, or did it just come naturally to you?
It came naturally to me, but I did always want to do that. That way I couldn't be accused of doing somebody else's stuff if I invent my own moveset. And not to say I haven't used anybody else. Of course, I brought the Shining Wizard to North America when nobody was doing it. But I kept the name out of respect, and Muta thanked me later for that. So it's not like I haven't done somebody else's move.
Right.
The Kudo driver was the vertebraker. But there was, there's like 18 is the tally of actual moves that I invented. And I was like, if I just invent my own stuff, then nobody can accuse me of doing other people's shit because I'm doing my stuff.
So can you touch on it a little bit? Your cruiserweight run was phenomenal. Longest reigning champ, all this stuff. Can you talk a little bit about the cruiserweights now in WWE? Is there a reason why you think it's not as hyped as it once was? Or do you think it's just too separate of a show of some sort? Or what's your take on that?
They just got to get that. They just need that one personality to light fire. The one that Conor McGregor to. Right. You just need that one personality to light the division up. And I'm not saying that talent isn't there yet, but if it is, it's not being capitalized on right now. And that's what it's going to take. It's going to take more than just guys having wrestling matches. It's going to take good stories, and it's going to take personalities that stand out and that people are attracted to. That's why, that's what made the Hurricane work. Was because people got attracted to my personality. They got attracted to the craziness of what I was. And there are a lot of people that can identify with just a little nutty motherfucker out there being crazy. A lot of people just like that.
I identified with
it. So, I remember when I got that cruiserweight title as Gregory Helms, and I was talking to Vince about it. Vince goes, to be honest with you, that belt ain't meant shit since the last time you held it.
That's awesome.
And as an unsolicited compliment from Vince, which
Right.
they're few and far between sometimes. So that's one I always remember, because. But back to your question, it just needs. They got stars, but do they really have a superstar? And I'm not talking about superstar because that's what we're supposed to label them. But do they have a superstar yet? And not yet, but there's somebody there. I definitely think Cedric Alexander has the capabilities. I think Austin Aries has everything that they need. So Rich Swann's personality. He's definitely one of the guys that could keep it going. They probably should have kept the belt on him. Didn't he have the belt, right? Am I wrong in thinking? Yeah. And I remember thinking his run should have went a little longer, but it didn't. I like TJ more as a heel than a babyface. There's a smugness about TJ that I think would translate a little bit better as a heel, and we'll see what they can do with him on that. But I mean, they got the talent, but like I said, it just need that personality to really pop.
Well, on that note, maybe in the future, would you ever think about bringing some superhero star power to the cruiserweight division, making another run for the belt?
I mean, you never know. I'm back down to around 205 now. I'm actually under 200 for the first time in forever.
Wow.
Yeah, so we'll see. I still got a little contract, with Impact that I can't really have no conversations about going anywhere else until that contract's up. So. But I watch it, I pay attention. But I think if you're a real professional, you watch all the products out there. It always surprises me when I talk to, especially younger guys that haven't really made it anywhere, and they don't watch half the shit on TV. And I'm like, do you want to ever go there? Yeah.
Right.
I mean, well, you might want to pay attention to what the hell's going on. But they got they got Instagram selfies to take instead. So we'll see.
Speaking of watching other products, that was a funny line, by the way. I don't want to let that go under. But speaking of watching your Instagram photos, what was I going to say? So speaking of watching other products and everything, when you were a part of the final, when you came out of the Lake of Reincarnation or whatever, I fucking threw my shit around the house, dude. I laughed so hard. The man with 3 H's line, dude, you crushed that. How fun was it to be a part of that?
It wasn't fun to film. It was fun once it came out. We were freezing our asses off when we filmed it. And my hat's off to Trevor and Andrew because they were in their trunks because, of course they wanted to be in clothes. And I told them, I said, it's not funny if you're in clothes. It's funny if you're in gear out here in these woods fighting. That's what's funny.
Right.
And I knew that because I'll do conventions at hotels, like autograph signings and these big conventions. And when I have to leave my room to go down to the floor and I'm in that costume, it's the most uncomfortable I could possibly be. Because I'm in this outfit and there's people getting on the elevator and I always look at them and I'm like, you guys look weird.
Yeah, just strike the horror pose.
It's so just out of place. And I was like, that's why everybody just needs to be, And of course, Ricky and Robert, I think they're always in gear. So they showed up in gear. They're ready to go. And I tried to get the bravados. They ended up getting in gear, but they showed up with their little vests and, whatever, Argyle sweaters and shit. And I'm like, I said, you need to get to your gear eventually because that's the joke.
Right.
Nobody gives a shit about you and your street clothes. I didn't even know who you were, and I actually know you guys. But it was a lot of fun, and they wanted me to be in it and, it gave me some ideas and, the 3-count thing was just a natural fit with Trevor.
So
and
good.
if we had time, we would have braided Trevor's hair like Evan, but that would have took a lot more time than we were willing to commit to the bit, and the hurricane thing and all that was funny. The pseudo hurricane, I guess.
Right.
Well, on that note, obviously, you work for Impact and, you're very close with the Hardy family. I don't know how much you can or can't say about the situation, but obviously fans everywhere are kind of heartbroken that Matt hasn't been able to embrace his broken gimmick as of late. Do you think that, the situation is going to reach a peaceful resolution that will end with him, being able to embrace it and use it once again where he's at in WWE?
As a friend and as a fan, I hope so, because he's not, And trust me, I understand. I can't like get on TNA and be I can't go on TNA and call myself the Hurricane because I did that in WWE and they own that property.
Right.
But as my understanding, I'm not certain that Matt had that same contract with TNA. TNA's contracts are a little bit more lax, which is why a lot of guys like working there. You're not under the handcuff that the WWE contracts can be sometimes. Anything you do in WWE, they own completely. So sometimes that's a little bit restricting creatively what you want to do if you have any kind of outside projects or anything.
You still with us?
Yes.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
man. We lost you for a minute there.
What was the last thing you heard?
Just, that's a little restrictive with the contracts. And, you were saying you're not quite sure what the contract entails between Matt and Impact.
Yeah. So like I said, I'm not sure what the legality of it is of it all. But hopefully it'll work out and it'll just eventually just be done with, because I don't think anybody's looking too good publicly with this kind of stuff.
Right. I mean, it is really, it is unfortunate. Obviously, you want to support both sides. It's something that's got to get worked out between them. But, Impact is obviously going through a bit of a resurgence now. You got the new regime with Jeff and Dutch and Anthem. You guys have had a lot of returns lately. Loki coming back to win the X Division title. That was pretty cool. Sanjay Dutt's back. Alberto has joined. I mean, is there anybody else out there who you would like to see join the Impact roster?
I mean, I think you're always looking for new talent. Definitely when I was there, I was always suggesting names. Oh, not when I was there. So ever since I've been there, I was always suggesting names. And of course, I brought Trevor and Andrew in, and I mean, all I did was got them to look at the guys, and what the guys do from there, is up to them. They're not going to hire somebody if they sucks just off my recommendation. But I think you're always looking for new talent. You want to cultivate the talent that you have, but you're always looking for that next big act. And wrestling, the short attention span fan today, sometimes they kind of not sometimes, I think it's obvious that they just get tired of seeing the same stuff over and over. So you got to bring in some new people to keep it spicy. I thought Low-Key coming back was awesome. He's a one of a kind talent, and so I thought that was incredibly cool.
His return was great, and that was a great match too. Obviously, everyone wants to see the X Division back at the forefront of Impact, and that was a great main event, great way to sort of kick it off. So, could you name drop maybe one name that's a free agent that you would like to see in Impact?
Hell, I don't even know who the free agents are anymore.
It's tough. I know everybody's just going everywhere nowadays.
Of course, I think, they're not free agents, but I think we got some kind of deal with AAA now. And so maybe if that's so, maybe that could create a bridge with Lucha Underground. And if that's so, I would love to have Ricochet kind of come in. I've been a fan of Ricochet ever since I met him. And, him, other than that, I really don't know who all the free agents are, Yeah.
So. I mean, a potential Lucha Underground Impact partnership seems to be coming up quite a bit lately. It definitely sounds like something the fans want to see. So hopefully maybe you guys will be able to work something like that out in the future.
And I think Lucha's protective of the characters in terms of he can't be maybe Prince Puma, which is fine. I'll take the King Ricochet.
Right.
Yeah. If they don't want him to use their Lucha Underground characters, which, I get, you want that exclusivity. Did I say that right? Yeah, you want that exclusivity so that's what draws them towards that product. But, I think Will Ospreay, I think I'd love to see a guy like him. I don't know if he just lives in Japan now, but he seems to, spend most of his time over there. When Sami Callihan came open, I thought he would be a good guy, but I think I'm not sure what was going on with him. Adam Cole's a free agent now. He's obviously a really talented kid. So, there's a lot of guys out there that are just good. Today's athlete is just, athletes get better and better in every sport, not just wrestling, but every sport out there. I think the old timers, they always want to think, that Rocky Marciano, he'll kick anybody's ass. I'm sorry, but that's not true. That's not true anymore. But I'm one of those older guys that I can admit that. Like I see some of this. I worked for a WXW in Germany this past Saturday night, and the main event was a four-way. It was Pentagon and Ray Phoenix and Angelico against one of the WXW guys, and I keep forgetting his name. and I need to get it down because I mentioned this match, and that match was incredible. Like, that match was so good. If I had to follow it, I probably would have faked a heart attack or something in the back because there was no way that match could be followed. And looking at some of and it's like they do stuff that I never even thought of, and like that type of athleticism is just incredible. I don't know where we go from here. The sport's supposed to evolve, in a forward manner. But, what's going to happen? I think guys are just going to eventually learn how to actually fly and just fight in the air the whole damn time.
Well, it's crazy. I think to myself all the time, I grew up watching guys like you and guys like the Hardys, and it was like, at the time it was so innovative and so crazy. And now I realize there's guys my age out there wrestling who are influenced by you guys. And it's like, you're right. Where does it go from here? It's hard to even imagine.
Oh yeah. I get that all the time, man. I watched you when I was a kid, man. I looked up to you. I'm like, all right, let me go get my walker real quick.
Oh yeah. Well, you can clearly see the influence in today's stars, though. Of all you guys and your moves and what you guys were doing back then. You can clearly see it. So I know you're strapped for time. Do you have? Can we do 2 more quick questions?
Sure thing.
Okay. I have to ask you, because I just found out today that you worked on this movie, and we are just huge fans. I watch it at least 3 to 4 times a year, but Ready to Rumble, I didn't know you were David Arquette's stunt double. What was it?
I thought you was going to talk about my browser's career, so I'm glad you went Ready to Rumble.
No, we'll skip that for this interview. Maybe next time.
I found that out, and that's why I've been quiet for the last 5 minutes.
But, man, do you remember what was that experience like? I love that movie. It's just so much fun. So what was it like being on the set and being in that environment?
Well, first of all, I was only supposed to be out there for a couple weeks because I was part of the stunt team, as far as coordinating the action scenes between the wrestlers. So I was brought out for that, and I was just going to be out there for a couple weeks. But in the stunt team, their idea was, and the head stunt coordinator now, this guy was, he was a big name in Hollywood. He'd done like a lot of big films. So he had a really competent stunt team, and he was really confident that they could mimic what the wrestlers do. And that way, Canyon wouldn't, DDP wouldn't have to be out there bumping all over the place and all this stuff. His stunt guy could do it. And, Oliver Platt's stunt double was Chris Canyon. But that guy just figured out early on, pretty quick, that there was just some stuff that their stuntmen can't do like we do, because they got pads and all that shit, and we just go out there and do it.
Right.
And and not only just from that physical aspect, but just the technique aspect of what we do. So yeah, I was there, kind of similar height to David Arquette. I wouldn't cut my hair though. That was almost a problem with the makeup lady. Because she was she kind of looked down on the stunt guys a little bit. There's a hierarchy in that business, which I didn't know anything about. And she wanted me to cut my hair, and I was like, no, I'm not going to cut my hair, because I got to go be 3 count in a couple months, And no, so I can't cut my hair. And so she was giving me a bunch of grief. And then somebody came in and said, no, he's actually one of the wrestlers, so we need to take care of him. And she goes, oh, okay. And then immediately she started treating me like I was Prince or some shit, Which now that made me really not like her, because I'm like, you should have been nice to me no matter what.
That's
before
start,
you.
Right.
Sounds like.
So,
sounds like.
So now I really didn't like that fat bitch. But so I had to put my hair up in a wig and wear a wig all day, doing whenever I had to do a stunt for a day. But I didn't really have a lot of stunts I had to do. A lot of stuff was pretty easy and he could go do it. But anytime there was a bump or something involved, it was me. There's a scene in there where you see a police car come racing at Arquette's legs, and the camera shot is actually between his legs. That's me standing there, and you can kind of see my leg twitch a little bit because I almost jumped the hell out. And I did jump out of the way on the first take because I'd been hit by a car when I was a little kid. And, first of all, the camera's between the legs. And I'm like, why can't they just get mannequin legs? Like, why does a human being have to stand here with this car racing at me like that? And this guy's telling me, the stunt coordinator is like, don't worry, this is one of the greatest car drivers in the world, stunt car drivers in the world. He can stop that car anywhere on a dime. You won't have anything to worry about. I'm like, okay. And I saw him run through, and I saw the mark where he was going to stop me. He hit it every single time. I was like, okay, so now we're going to go out there, and I'm standing there, and the stunt coordinator's behind me. He goes, okay, now if that car gets too close, just jump over the hood. I was going, what? What the hell? So now that's in my mind. I'm like, what? And so that car came, I jumped the hell out of there. I wasn't even nowhere near it.
Yeah, that's not what you want to hear when you got a car coming at you.
No, but we did it again, and this time I didn't jump. But if you ever watch it again, when that's coming, one of my legs shifts slightly because I was about to piss myself. I was like, oh my God, that was terrifying.
I can't.
But I got a really big stunt bonus for that, and but otherwise, man, it was a really good experience. A lot of fun. I mean, Hollywood is kind of a dead town to go out in. I had really high hopes about, when you hear about towns to go in, Las Vegas lives up to the hype. Tokyo is the greatest nightlife in the world, and New York's great. LA is kind of a dud. Everything shuts down really early unless you're in that movie scene. Then it's movie parties, movie parties, movie parties. So there was that experience, and I had a lot of fun out there. There's a lot of extras on set, a lot of pretty cute little extras that Sugar Shane, he took well advantage of. Had a pretty good run out with that.
And you can see that on Brazzers.
Yeah, a lot of that footage, casting couch footage came into play.
Well, on the note of movies, we got one more question. I know you're pressed for time, though we'll let you go. I know you're a big comic book guy. Obviously, The Hurricane was very influenced by the Green Lantern. There's all these rumors going around. We got Justice League coming out at the end of the year that maybe Green Lantern's going to appear in the film, and obviously they got the Green Lantern Corps coming down the pipeline. You have any thoughts on who you would like to see step into the role and play the next Green Lantern in the DCEU?
Yeah, I think Chris Pine could do it. I think he'd be really good at it.
Do you think that's going to work, though? Because he's already doing Steve Trevor in Wonder Woman.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I don't know. The hell with Wonder Woman. Yeah, I forgot he was doing it. Damn it. I don't know. He was my number one pick.
Well, it looks like he may be out. Maybe they can convince Ryan Reynolds to come back and maybe do like a Deadpool Green Lantern crossover.
Well, see, the thing was, the Green Lantern's not a comedic character, and they tried to make him funny.
Right.
Like his humor is kind of a dry humor, like it kind of happens. He's not a slapstick guy, and that's what they did. Comic doesn't necessarily mean comedy in terms of what comic books are. There's a lot of comic books out there where they're not funny books. There's a lot of serious. If you read Preacher, there's some funny moments, but you're not laughing out loud. It's not a Spider-Man type character, and that's what they tried to do with that. In that Green Lantern, the CGI was over the top, but. There's no way to do that movie without CGI. It's not like they're going to make real green energy weapons, They have to do CGI, and there's a bunch of aliens involved. So unless they go find some real aliens, which, Donald Trump ain't about that life. So they're going to have to CGI the aliens. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I think the Green Lantern would be good in a team movie. I don't know if, if him by himself would be a good character for a solo film.
Well, we'll see if he pops up in Justice League. Real quick, just because you mentioned him, I got to ask. The Rock, if he runs for president in 2020, do you think he'll win?
He's going to get my vote.
Hell yeah.
I say that, but, I think recently we put somebody in office that had no political experience whatsoever, and it's not going well at all. So I'm not sure putting somebody with even less political experience would be the thing to do, but I believe that he would be likable, and he's definitely likable, and he's a good human being, and I know that for a fact, and I would like to have somebody in office that I felt was a decent human being, and I don't think that's the case now. I've met Trump before. I didn't like him back then, so to my credit, it wasn't like I didn't like him because of the politics shit. I didn't like him back in the day. When I made him at Mania, one of the photographers come over and a Hurricane, you want to take a picture with Trump? And I was like, no. So I didn't like him back then, and it was just there's something about people. I trust my instincts. I believe. How everybody talks about love at first sight. Well, I think there's such a thing as dislike at first sight too. I've definitely met people in my life, and I bet you guys have too. If you think about it, where right away there's just something about that motherfucker you don't like.
Absolutely.
There's something there. And there's something to that. And maybe you can grow to like him or something. I don't know. Maybe find out you have common interests and it works out. But maybe it doesn't, But that's the same thing with love at first sight. There's some people you really like, and then it turns out motherfucker's a serial killer or something. You never know. But immediately, I didn't like him back in the day. So, I definitely don't like his ass now.
That was your superhero instinct, brother. You could have fucking saved us way back then. What happened?
Yeah, Bobby Lashley had the opportunity to save us. Me and Bobby got heat. We got heat over there, and we got heat because he thinks Rocky V was the best Rocky, and that's an unforgivable statement. Exactly.
Who thinks
that?
That's
an unforgivable statement, and that's really put a wedge in our friendship.
So, what is the best Rocky?
I know everybody wants to say the first 1 and 2, but I grew up on 3 and 4, and seeing Rocky 4 in theaters, just Ivan Drago. That's the one that stands out to me. Yeah, that's the one that always stands out to me. That, and I love Clubber Lang. So I'm gonna say 4 because in 3 I like the villain more than Rocky. And that's not what's supposed to happen. But Clubber Lang was just badass. So I like it. But Rocky 4 to me is my all-time favorite. The last one was pretty good. The last one with the new kid coming in.
Yeah,
Apollo's son. So.
Well, thank you so much for chatting with us, man. I know you got to get to the gym, but before we let you go, do you have any appearances you want to promote? Anything coming up?
Is this when's this? When you guys going to put this online?
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
It'll be up later this afternoon, probably within an hour or so.
Okay, I will be appearing in a gym in 20 minutes, and no, but I'm working for Wrestle America this weekend in Georgia. That's a company. Luke Gallows is a big part of that. So that's where I'm at in Georgia. I'm not sure exactly the Locust Grove, I believe, is the city town, whatever. I don't know if that's a city. We'll call it a township and see what happens. Sure. But that's the next one, and I really kind of only can keep up with them 1 week at a time. I know I got a bunch on the roster as far as that goes, but I will make an appearance on the Impact show this coming up Thursday in the Ultimate X match, where I will be doing a move that will probably be the last time I ever do that move ever in my life. So. Use that little bit of foreshadowing as you may. The diving headlock will be done for the first.
We are most definitely looking forward to that. We're going to tell everybody to tune in to check that out. Once again, man, thank you so much. We really appreciate you coming on. It was great chatting with you.
Man, my pleasure, man. We'll do it again next time, and I'll have a little bit more time.
That sounds great. We're looking forward to it.
We can talk about Rocky more.
Sounds good, man.
All right, Absolutely. Brother. Take it easy.
All right, later, guys.
All right, guys. Once again, thank you so much to Gregory Shane Helms. Awesome dude. Definitely hit him up on Twitter. Definitely check out Impact Wrestling next Thursday. He's got that big move coming. We got the diving headlock. So, everybody here, we're looking forward to Backlash on Sunday, the big pay-per-view where Jinder Mahal finally gets his WWE title shot. We're going to get into it. Let's see. They just announced the kickoff show match. We got Aiden English versus Ty Dillinger, and we went to SmackDown this week. This was the dark match, so we got to see this match already. I gotta say it was actually pretty good.
Oh, I 100% agree, man. I gotta be honest too. Aiden English right now has totally won me over, man. He's just playing his heel character is so good. I'm glad they gave him the singing gimmick back and everything. It's just it makes me laugh, and that's kind of why I watch wrestling. I like to be entertained. So he made a fan out of me this week.
And I gotta say, man, Ty Dillinger, out of everybody, seemed like he got the biggest pop of the night. I mean, that includes AJ Styles, Shinsuke. I mean, I don't know if it was because he was the first guy out in the dark match, but man, he got a huge pop. I don't see Aiden English walking away with the win here, but you never know.
I'm going to just make this prediction from my heart, and I'm going to say it's going to be Aiden English with the big win.
All right, of course, we got Eric Rowan versus Luke Harper was added on Talking Smack, former Wyatt family members. They're going to go toe-to-toe. I got to go with Harper on this one, man. I mean, Harper's been on a tear. He's kind of fallen back into the shadows over the past few weeks, but, it's never a bad time to put him right back in the forefront.
This dude's got all the tools to just be like a breakout star, really. I mean, he's so phenomenal in the ring. His promo skills, I feel, are underrated. I got to go with him as well, man. And no slight to Eric Rowan, he does nothing for me. It's like, naked fat chicks. It's just not my thing.
Well, there you go. All right, of course, we got Baron Corbin. He's taking on Sami Zayn. So that should be, interesting. Two totally different styles. We'll see how they mesh. I feel like Corbin, obviously WWE seems to have big plans for him. They seem to really like him, and they want to push him into the main event. Sami Zayn doesn't seem like they quite feel the same way about the underdog from the underground. So I'm definitely going with the Baron Corbin win here.
Every reason you just gave is why I'm going to go with Sami Zayn, because I feel like it's going to be an unpredictable win, and I feel like they need one of those on this card. And I see that, Sami pulling out the win here. Maybe they prolong this feud a little bit longer, too, because I think, personally, Baron Corbin still needs a little bit of work before you can get shoved right into the main event picture.
Well, we'll have to wait and see what he can do on Sunday. I mean, he's definitely got a cool entrance, so he's got that going for him. Okay. Well, Shinsuke versus Dolph Ziggler. Shinsuke Nakamura, he has been on the main roster for a couple of weeks now, but WWE has used him sparingly. Now we're finally going to be able to see him in action against Dolph Ziggler. Again, this was a dark match that we saw at SmackDown this week after the show. And we complimented Ziggler big time. I know that, the heel turn hasn't really been what everyone hoped it would be, but off camera, he got to show some nice heel tactics. He got a lot of heat from the crowd, and I wish that he could kind of do more of that on TV, but it was a really fun match. I'm looking forward to seeing it, on a pay-per-view on Sunday.
Yeah, Nakamura, he just never disappoints. And Ziggler, I mean, that guy, for all the shit he gets, just because I think he's been around underutilized to a certain degree, that now people are just kind of, soured on him. But the guy always puts on great matches. So this and the Kevin Owens AJ Styles match, these are the two matches I'm looking forward to the most. Because it being Nakamura's first, televised main roster match, I think they're going to pull out some, all the stops really. And this could steal the show in my opinion. And I got to go with Naka on this one. Nakamura.
Well, I felt like they were pretty impressive in the dark match, and I didn't even feel like they were really going all the way with it. They seemed to just be kind of loose and having fun. So I think this is definitely a potential show stealer. I'm going Nakamura all the way. And that's my prediction.
Oh, I thought you were waiting for me. I was like, I gave mine already.
Well, okay.
I'll go with Nakamura again.
Go with Nakamura again.
I'm doubling down.
He's so good, he's going to win the match twice. All right, so the SmackDown Women's Championship will not be defended at WWE Backlash. We got Naomi teaming up with Charlotte and Becky Lynch to take on Tamina, Carmella, and Natalya. Of course, we all know the real star in this match, no disrespect to the lovely and talented ladies, is former Still Real Radio guest James Ellsworth, who will likely be at ringside. He always steals the show when he's out there. But I think that this should be an awesome match, man. Everybody here, they got chemistry, and they've been working hard to sell this for the whole division. I like the whole welcoming committee. A little bit of possible tension teased with Charlotte. We're not quite sure if she's a face or whatever.
Duh.
Well, what are we thinking here? Are we going with the face team? Are we going with the welcoming committee? Who's going to walk away?
I'm going with the welcoming committee just because I feel like they're being showcased as a more well-oiled machine. Charlotte still has that. She doesn't really trust the other two. The other two don't trust her. So I'm going with the welcoming committee, and it's going to be some sort of shenanigans. I definitely think our boy Ellsworth is getting involved somehow. And, just a future prediction, I think he's going to be the first man to ever win the SmackDown Women's title.
I could absolutely see that happening. Duh. Yeah, I'm going to go with the heel team's going to get the win because I just don't see Charlotte going all the way with her team here. They're teasing a face turn, but I don't think it's quite time yet. I think she's probably going to turn on her team, and we'll go from there. Let's see. We got the Uggos SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. The Uggos will defend against the Fashion Police Breezango.
What is H?
What is H? What is finally our day one will be H. Man, everybody's loving the fashion foul stuff, and you really can't argue with it because it is. It's so entertaining. I think it's kind of just what WWE needs right now. It's, humor that's so stupid that it's hilarious and good, and I think that they're just doing a great job selling all the jokes. I would love to see Breezango walk away with the titles, but I think there's a little more money in waiting, and I think that they're starting to get people on their side, and they're starting to build up sort of like a sympathetic babyface following, so I think they're probably going to hold off. The Usos will go over this time.
Well, you're correct. I gotta keep it real and go with my heart, and I really want the Fashion Popo to pull this one out and shock the world, and I love everything about this team right now, and it's no secret because I've been on these guys for a while. They're both so talented. I'm just glad that they're finally getting some money put behind them. So I would love to see them pull out the win. So just for good juju sent their way, I'm picking them.
Well, I hope that your prediction is right, and I hope that my prediction is wrong. We will see on Sunday. AJ Styles, Kevin Owens, the face of America. He is not the United States champion. He's the United States of America champion. And he is going to be defending the belt against AJ Styles. I think this is another match that definitely has the potential to be a show stealer. Obviously, AJ and Kevin, they give it their all every single time they step inside the squared circle. I'm going with Kevin Owens getting the win. I just don't see AJ getting a U.S. title run. I think he's going to kind of float around until it's time for him to go back to the main event.
I'm with you 100% on this one, and I think it'll give more credence to Kevin Owens as the U.S. champ. It'll give him, that big victory that he desperately needs, if you ask me, with the U.S. title, because that title, it was on Jericho, and now it's on him. There hasn't really been enough steam put behind it. I mean, the face of America gimmick right now it's over. It's getting a lot of heat, so I say you got to stick with that as well. And same thing. I think AJ Styles is going to be a floater until they eventually put him back in the main title picture.
Well, look, I think that the face of America is going to remain the face of America for a little while. We'll see.
I think we need him to.
I think we need him. America needs a Canadian as the face.
100%. And it's a beautiful face. So.
All right. Of course, this is the match, man. This is the match, guys. Everybody's talking about Jinder Mahal is finally getting his WWE Championship shot. Randy Orton will defend. Is Jinder going to pull out the win?
I don't think so, man. I love everything they've done with him since he's flipped. I love his promos. I love, he's got the look. He's got it all. But I don't know what it is. I don't think he's on that level yet where he can, carry a brand, carry a company as their champion. And it's no slight to him. I don't know what it is. It's just, we saw him versus AJ Styles open SmackDown. And it was the first time in a long time that I didn't enjoy an AJ Styles match. I just feel like he's not on that level yet, and Orton is a phenomenal talent. He's an asshole, I guess, if you want to call him that in real life or whatever. But it's just he's got all the tools in the ring, and you can never go wrong having your title on that guy. So I think you keep the strap on him, and then hopefully you get more of a Styles Orton type feud next or something.
Well, yeah, I just don't really see Jinder walking away with the title, but stranger things have happened, so you never know. But I'm calling for Orton puts it away definitively with the RKO. Maybe the Singh brothers will lead a pair of RKOs.
Yeah, I think that's probably what's going to happen. Double DDT off the middle rope, too. And I don't know, man. I wouldn't be shocked if Jinder won, though, so it's not like... and it's not a slight to him. I just feel like I think you've got the juice as high as you're going to get it with this guy, so I don't know.
Well, obviously WWE will do whatever they have to do to capture the Indian fan base. They did make the Great Khali world champion after all.
Yeah, yep, that definitely happened.
He's
the only guy to win the title with less moves than John Cena.
That's true. Well, guys, like I said earlier in the show, Braun Strowman, we know he's out of action. WWE said he could be out up to 6 months. Of course, Dave Meltzer reports via Wrestling Observer Radio that the 6-month number is a work, and he's projected to be back sometime in mid-July to build a feud with Brock Lesnar for SummerSlam. Of course, Braun was expected to challenge for the title at Great Balls of Fire. Now he's going to need a new challenger. We got Bray Wyatt, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, and who's the other guy?
Bray Wyatt.
And, I said Bray Wyatt. This keeps happening to me, but we got a fatal 5-way match at Extreme Rules, and I can only remember... Samoa Joe. How could we forget Samoa Joe? But we're going to get a new number 1 contender. Presumably, he will challenge for the title at Great Balls of Fire. Out of these 5, who do you want to see go on to face Brock Lesnar in July?
2 guys I personally think would put on a great match with a guy like Brock Lesnar is Samoa Joe and... Seth Rollins. We've seen Roman face him countless times, and I'm just, that's probably what's going to happen at Mania, I guess, so I don't think they're going to go that route yet. I think Finn Balor is going to be the guy who does actually take it, and he goes on to face Brock and everything, but personally, I would love to see a Samoa Joe versus Brock match. It's something I've always wanted to see. I think their styles would mesh so great together, and Samoa Joe's got the size and the speed to really, I think, compete with a guy like Brock. And Seth Rollins could, he could have a match with an amputee, and it would be a stellar match. So, I just think those 2 guys personally could mesh the best with him. The only slight I have on Finn is he's just, I don't know how he's going to match up. I feel like it's just going to be a whole beatdown. He's going to be fighting from the bottom the whole time, and maybe he'll get like a quick, victory somehow or something. But I just don't see that match being something that I personally would want to see.
Well, on that same note, I have to go with I think Finn is going to win. But like you were saying, I just don't see any value in a Finn Balor versus Brock Lesnar match because all it's going to do is just crush Finn Balor's run on the main roster so far. And this is just pure fantasy booking. What I would like to see is somehow a triple threat with Seth Rollins and Finn Balor because I think they have like a cool frenemy thing going on right now. Right. And if they could get a triple threat with Brock Lesnar, I feel like that's the best way to sort of use like, I hate to call it a filler match, but it's like, it's just a Brock Lesnar match. We know the title's not going to change hands, but the best way to do that, I think, is like they did it a couple of years ago with Cena and Rollins in the triple threat at the Royal Rumble, because that way it's not just 10 minutes of Brock Lesnar beating the shit out of somebody. There's a different dynamic, and it's actually entertaining. So I'd love to see a triple threat with Rollins and Balor, but again, that's just me fantasy booking.
Yep, I totally agree, man.
Well, guys, thank you so much. And again, thank you so much to Gregory Shane Helms. We will be back next week to talk about Backlash and more. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to the show on iTunes. Hit us up on Twitter at StillRealToUs with a 2 instead of a T-O.
And on Instagram at StillRealToUs. Spell it out.
And until next time, just remember, this is the show where you don't have to agree with the things that we say. We probably won't agree with the things that you say, but we can all agree that it is still real to us. What's up with that?